In a quiet village nestled between two great rivers, where the wind sang through tall trees and the moon seemed to linger longer in the sky, lived a boy who was neither special nor strong. His name was Kojo. He had no brothers, no fine clothes, and no stories written about his ancestors. The villagers barely noticed him. They saw him as the quiet boy, the one who talked to birds and walked alone. But fate has a strange way of choosing its heroes. While others laughed and played, and gathered by the fire to tell stories, Kojo sat by the old well, carving wooden animals, and dreaming of places beyond the mountains. He believed the world was larger than the village and its walls. He believed the sky held doors and the wind carried whispers. The others called him odd. He didn't mind, and then came Amma. She was the daughter of the village healer, graceful as a flame, with eyes that always looked like they knew more than they said. While others mocked Kojo, Amma spoke to him. She sat with him beneath the mango tree. She listened to his strange thoughts, his carvings, his quiet laugh. They were only 12 when they became inseparable. She would bring him herbs, he would carve her birds. In a world that ignored them both, they found each other. But even Amma was no ordinary girl. She had dreams that came true. She could tell when someone was about to fall sick or when it would rain. Her mother said the spirits whispered to her that she had been born under the moon's soft eye. Amma never feared the dark. She said the shadows spoke gently to her. Kojo believed her. He always believed her. The seasons passed, and as they grew, so did their bond. From carved animals to shared secrets, from childish games to quiet walks under the stars, their love unfolded like a song. It was not loud or dramatic. It was steady, rooted deep in the soil of their hearts. But happiness, in stories like these, is never left alone for long. It began on the night of the full harvest moon. The village held its annual festival dancers in red and gold. Drums echoing like thunder, children running through smoke and laughter. Kojo and Amma sat under the large iroko tree, watching lanterns float into the sky. She wore a necklace of blue stones, glowing faintly under the moonlight. "I've been dreaming again," Amma whispered. "What did you see?" Kojo asked. "A path made of light, a river that spoke, a door in the sky, and a voice calling me from the other side." Kojo frowned. "Maybe it's just a dream." Amma shook her head. "No, it feels different, like something is waiting for me." Later that night, after the music faded and the fires burned low, Amma vanished. Her mother searched. The villagers searched. The healer wept, crying that the spirits had taken her daughter. A search party went into the forest. They found only a single footprint in the mud, glowing faintly, and Amma's blue stone necklace hanging on a tree branch. The elders declared she had been chosen by the spirit world, that she now walked among ancestors. Everyone accepted it, except Kojo. He refused to believe she was gone. Not like that. Not without goodbye. Not without a reason. He returned to the iroko tree night after night, holding her necklace, whispering her name. He begged the wind to return her. He searched the forest alone, followed trails no one else dared walk. People called him mad. They said he should move on, but love does not move on so easily. One night, an old woman came to his hut. She was wrapped in a black shawl, her eyes like burning coals. "You seek her, don't you?" she said. Kojo looked up. "I know where she is, but it is not a place for the living." "Tell me," Kojo said. "I'll go." The woman handed him 3 items: a charm tied with red thread, a gourd sealed with wax, and a flat black stone. "The charm will help you remember who you are. The gourd holds the truth. Only open it when you are lost. The stone will silence what must not be heard." Kojo clutched them tightly. "If you cross over," she warned, "you may not return." And if you do, you may not return the same. Don't care, Kojo replied. If she's there, I'll find her. The woman nodded. Then go to the river when the moon touches its own reflection. Step into the water. Do not speak. Do not fear. Walk until the water rises above your head. Kojo waited 3 days for the moon to rise full again. That night, he walked to the sacred river, alone. The moon kissed the water. He stepped in. The current pulled him gently. The cold wrapped around his legs, then his chest, then his neck. He did not speak. He did not tremble. He walked forward into the deep, and then he vanished. Into the realm beyond, into the land of spirits, into a world where love had summoned him, and only love could guide him home. Kojo expected darkness. He expected cold silence. Instead, when he opened his eyes, he found himself lying on a bed of glowing moss. Beneath a sky, the color of deep purple ink, scattered with golden stars that moved like fireflies. The trees around him were tall and silver, their leaves humming softly. The air felt heavy, but not with fear. It was ancient, like it remembered every footstep ever taken. He stood slowly, gripping the 3 items the old woman had given him: a charm of memory, a gourd of truth, a stone of silence. He did not know where to go, but something pulled at his chest, a quiet tug, like the thread of a dream not fully forgotten. He followed it. The path wound between trees that shifted as he passed. Some had eyes. Some whispered riddles. Others simply watched. As he walked deeper, he saw strange beings, creatures made of smoke and feathers, giants with mossy beards, and tiny glowing birds that sang with human voices. One stopped him. It looked like a tortoise, but taller than him, with eyes like burning lanterns. Who walks the path of 2 hearts? Kojo, he answered. Kojo, he answered. I seek a ma. You seek a spirit with a living heart, the tortoise said. To reach her, you must answer or be turned away. Kojo nodded. The tortoise spoke. I have no mouth, yet I consume. I have no wings, yet I fly. I swallow cities, yet am born of sparks. What am I? Kojo closed his eyes. The forest around him grew still. Then he whispered, Fire. The tortoise smiled. You may pass, but take this. It handed him a black feather. Speak this only when shadows lie. He thanked the creature and walked on. Soon the path disappeared, and he found himself at the edge of a wide bridge made of smoke. Beneath it, swirling mist reached up like hands, whispering in forgotten tongues. At the center of the bridge was a serpent coiled tight, its body transparent, its eyes glowing with a silver flame. Only those who do not fear themselves may cross. It hissed. Kojo's heart pounded. He stepped forward. The serpent uncoiled slowly. Face the truth or fall. Suddenly, the mist below rose and surrounded him in a circle of mirrors. Each one showed a different version of him. Kojo as a coward, Kojo alone, Kojo begging the villagers, Kojo giving up. He nearly fell to his knees, but then he remembered Amma, her voice, her eyes. He took out the gourd. The wax cracked open with a hiss, and a light poured from inside, not blinding, but soft. It filled the space and erased the mirrors one by one. Kojo stepped through. The serpent bowed and slithered aside. Beyond the bridge, the world changed. The trees became taller, the sky turned crimson, and the air carried voices, laughter, cries, whispers of names he didn't know. He was now deep in the spirit realm, a place where time twisted and thoughts turned to wind. A fox with 3 tails met him next. It walked beside him and spoke. Why do you chase a girl who has already crossed? Because I love her, Kojo answered. Love? The fox chuckled. Or guilt, or fear of being alone. Kojo said nothing. Love here is dangerous, the fox warned. It can trap you, twist you, become something else. I don't care, Kojo said. I'll find her. The fox nodded. Then find her you shall. But when you do, will you let her go if it means her peace? Kojo didn't answer. He walked on, finally. After what felt like days or moments' time had lost meaning, he reached a clearing. Floating above a silver lake was a palace made of echo and light. Its walls shimmered like glass, and voices sang. From inside, the water below did not ripple, even as petals floated across its surface. And there, standing at the edge, was Ama. She wore a gown of stars, her hair woven with moonlight. She looked older, wiser, but her eyes held the same quiet fire. Kojo called her name. She turned slowly, but she did not smile. Who are you? She asked. Kojo's breath caught. It's me, Kojo. She tilted her head. I know that name. Ata, I don't remember your face. Ata. The palace behind her pulsed. A shadow emerged tall, robed in silver, with a mask carved like the moon. She belongs here, it said, chosen by the moon goddess. You are not of this realm. I came for her, Kojo said. She is not yours. She is not yours. Either, the spirit replied. Her memory has been buried. She came willingly. She brings balance here. Kojo looked at Ama, whose eyes now shimmered with uncertainty. I came through rivers of silence and fires of fear. I faced myself. I faced the truth. I did not come to take her. I came to remind her. He held up the charm of who she was, of who we were. The charm glowed. A light spread from his hand to hers. Ama gasped. Her eyes widened. Kojo, but before she could speak more, the spirit raised a hand. If you awaken her, she must return with you. She will lose all memory of this realm and may never remember you. Kojo looked at Ama and smiled. Even if she forgets me, I will remind her again. I will find her again, as many times as it takes. The spirit stared at him, and then stepped aside. The palace dissolved into mist. The lake vanished. The path behind them reformed. Ama reached for his hand. I don't remember everything, she whispered. But I feel something. Then that's enough, Kojo replied. Together, they walked back toward the bridge, toward the smoke, toward the world of the living. The journey back from the spirit realm was nothing like the journey in. The trees did not whisper. The path did not glow. The strange creatures that once watched from the shadows were now silent, retreating into mist as Kojo and Ama walked hand in hand. But Ama's grip was weak. Though her steps matched his, her eyes often wandered. She paused to touch the bark of trees, to listen to echoes that only she could hear. You feel it, don't you? She asked softly. Kojo nodded. This place still calls to you. It's like part of me still belongs there. They reached the river that served as the gateway between the realms. The moon hung low, its reflection dancing on the water. I'm afraid, she whispered. What if I lose everything again? What if the memory never returns? Kojo took her hand and pressed the charm now dim into her palm. Then I'll remind you every day. I'll walk every road, face every realm again. You don't have to remember everything to know you are loved. She smiled faintly, tears glistening in her eyes. Together, they stepped into the water. At first, it felt cold and still. Then, the current pulled them down gently. Light wrapped around them like a cocoon, and a soft hum filled their ears. The sound of the spirit world faded. The smell of firewood and earth returned. When Kojo opened his eyes, he was lying on the riverbank. Birds chirped above. The village lay in the distance. He sat up. Ama lay beside him, breathing slowly, peacefully. She stirred. "Where am I?" she asked. Kojo smiled. "Home." She looked at him, puzzled. "Do I know you?" He didn't answer right away. Instead, he offered his hand. "I'm Kojo, and we've walked across the stars together." She laughed softly, unsure whether to believe him or not. But she took his hand. Days passed. The villagers were stunned to see Ama again, alive, though changed. Her mother wept and embraced her, giving thanks to the ancestors. Some feared her, saying she had returned to spirit. But others celebrated, believing Kojo had done the impossible. He told no one of what he had seen. Some things were too sacred. Ama stayed close to him, though she remembered little. Pieces returned in her dreams: a field of glowing trees, a palace of silver light, a boy with eyes full of fire. One evening, they sat beneath the same Yoroko tree where they had last spoken before her disappearance. "Do you believe in dreams?" she asked. "I do," he replied. "Last night, I dreamt I was dancing with you. Not here, but somewhere strange. And you held my hand like this?" She interlocked her fingers with his. "That's not a dream," Kojo whispered. "That's a memory." She smiled. Bit by bit, her memories returned. Not all, but enough. She remembered the carvings, the mango tree, the necklace of blue stones, and the boy who crossed realms for her. Years passed. Kojo and Ama grew together. Their bond, once interrupted by forces beyond the living world, now blossomed in peace. He carved again, this time, not birds, but stars. Rivers, moons. She healed again, this time, not with herbs alone, but with the calm strength of someone who had seen the other side of existence. Together, they built a small school by the river, a place where children could learn not just stories, but the spirit behind them. Kojo would tell tales by the fire at night. Ama would guide dreamers and teach them how to listen. They were never wealthy, but they were never empty. One evening while watching the sunset, Kojo said, "Do you ever miss it? The spirit realm?" "Ah." Thought for a long time. "No," she said, "because I brought the best part of it with me." And she kissed him. The years flowed like the river that once carried Kojo between worlds. Peace had settled in the village like morning, dew, quiet, soft, nourishing. Yet even in peace, the mysteries of the realms lingered. Strange things began to happen. Children claimed to see flickers of light dancing at the edges of the forest at night. Healers spoke of dreams where a silver palace shimmered behind their eyes. An old man whispered to Kojo that the bridge he once crossed now shimmered faintly during the full moon. Like the border between two breathing worlds had never fully closed. Ama felt it too. She would wake in the night and look toward the river, her heart stirring with something unnamed. Some morning she spoke to the wind, as if waiting for a reply. One evening, while tending to a sick child near the riverbank, she noticed something strange: footprints, but not of a child. These were large, glowing faintly, and sank deeper than human weight should allow. She touched them, cold, spirit cold. When she told Kojo, he said nothing. But later that night, he returned to the bank and waited until the moon rose. There it was, just as he feared and just as he somehow knew. The water shimmered silver. The air bent like heat on stone. The realm he had crossed so long ago, it was opening again. That night, Ama had another dream. She stood at the Palace of Echoes, wearing her gown of stars. A voice called out from the shadows, "The boy crossed for you once. Will you cross for him?" She woke up gasping. Kojo was gone. In the days that followed, no one knew where he had gone. The villagers whispered again, this time not in mockery, but in awe and fear. "He's returned to the spirits," some said. "He was called back," said others. Ama knew the truth in her bones. She followed the signs: glowing leaves, cold winds, and her own dreams that now guided her like lanterns. At the riverbank, she found his carved staff and the black feather he had once received from the tortoise spirit. She stepped into the river without hesitation. The water rose. The world dissolved, and the spirit realm welcomed her back. This time was not Kojo who searched. Ama moved through the realm as if it remembered her, and she it. The trees bowed. The light whispered. The fox with 3 tails appeared again and said, "It is your turn now, girl of 2 hearts." She passed the serpent bridge with ease, faced the mirrors with calm. When she reached the silver lake, she did not wait. Kojo stood there, his face lit by the palace's glow. "Ama, I came back," she said. "Oh, because you left without me. I thought it would protect you. You once said you'd remind me every day. Now I'm here to remind you." He smiled. "Do you remember everything?" She took his hand. Enough. The spirits emerged again. This time, the moon goddess herself appeared, radiant, sorrowful. "You are both part of 2 worlds. Now," she said, "flesh and spirit. You have crossed the line not once, but twice. This cannot continue without consequence." Kojo stepped forward. "We'll accept the consequence," Ama added. Together, the goddess studied them. "Then I offer you a choice." A silver fruit appeared in her hand. "Eat this and return to the living realm forever. No more crossings. No more dreams. Your memories will remain, but the door will close behind you. Or stay and serve the spirit realm. Become guides. Protect others who wander." Kojo looked at Ama. Her voice was calm. "I choose life, but not because I fear this world. I choose it because the living still need us. Our village still needs us." Kojo nodded. "We still have stories to tell." The goddess smiled, just faintly. "So be it." They ate the fruit. When they awoke, they were back on the riverbank. But things were different now. Their hair glinted in the sun like stardust. Their eyes shimmered faintly, like they had seen centuries in a blink. The village welcomed them, unaware of the realms they had crossed again. Ama returned to her healing. Kojo returned to his carving, but now they were more than just lovers. More than village caretakers. They were bridges between past and future, earth and spirit, story and truth. In the evenings, children would gather to hear their stories, but no one could ever tell whether what they shared was imagination or memory. One night, as the sun set and the moon rose, Ama whispered to Kojo, "Do you think others will find their way across someday?" Kojo smiled. "If their hearts are strong enough and their love is true. Maybe." She placed her head on his shoulder. "I'll walk across any realm for you," she said. "And I," he whispered, "will always be waiting." The seasons changed once more, but now the world seemed different. Not just the trees or the rivers, but the very rhythm of time in the village felt more alive, more alert, as if nature itself knew that something extraordinary had passed through. Kojo and Ama continued to live quietly, yet purposefully. They were not celebrated with titles or thrones, but their presence brought a calm that reached even the restless souls of the old and the dreamers of the young. Over time, people from other villages traveled far just to speak with them. Some brought questions, some brought illness, some brought sorrow. And though Kojo and Ama never revealed all they knew, they always gave what they could, whether it was healing roots, a carved token, or simply a story that made the pain a little less sharp. One day, a girl barely older than 10 knocked at their door. She had tears in her eyes and a cracked wooden bird in her hand. "Do you fix things?" she asked. Kojo smiled. "Only the things that want to be whole again." He took the broken bird and carved it anew, gave it wings that sang in the wind. As the girl left, Ama watched her skip away. "That was me once," Ama said. "And me," Kojo replied, "just without the wings." The school they had built beside the river expanded into something more. It became a haven for children who had lost their parents, for the curious, the lonely, and the misunderstood. And in the center of the courtyard stood a statue not of Kojo or a Mabet, of two joined hands reaching toward a moon, carved from river, stone, and wood. No plaque bore their names, because the story wasn't just theirs anymore. It belonged to the village, to anyone who ever dared to love, to those brave enough to follow dreams into the dark and return with light. Years later, when the time came for Kojo and Ama to finally rest, it was not with pain, but with peace. They lay side by side beneath the Iroko tree, where it had all begun. Some say the wind still whispers their names. Some say their spirits guide those lost between realms. And some, the children especially, say that if you listen closely on moonlit nights, you'll hear footsteps. Not of one person, but two, walking hand in hand across invisible paths no one else can see. Paths built by love, walked by courage. We hope this story reminded you of the kind of love that doesn't give up even when it has to cross rivers, dreams, or whole other worlds. If this story moved you, please like this video, share your thoughts in the comments. What part touched your heart the most? Share it with a friend who still believes in deep love and destiny. And don't forget to subscribe for more timeless African tales told with heart and soul. More powerful stories await. Until next time, stay brave, stay kind, and never stop walking toward love. See you in the next story.